Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Midweek Conversation. Joined with Pastor Kevin Monahan.
What's up, buddy?
Good to have you, my friend.
Man, great to have you back.
It is good to be back. We are missing somebody who normally sits in this chair, Pastor John Hampton. Pastor John, we miss you.
Yeah, man.
And just grateful for you to be able to get away. And for those of you who don't know, Pastor John is taking the month of July. Every summer he does, and just takes it for a little vacation, study break. But really, he genuinely feels your prayers, your support, encouragement. So I want to encourage you to reach out and pray for him and love on him. And so we'll miss our pastor.
Oh, man.
But we have a ton of pranks that we're excited to do in the month of July while he's away. See, no, we're not going to do anything. But one of the things that Pastor John has really blessed me with is to be able to do the same thing. And so I took the month of June and took that off.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really good time with the family. My wife's been a school teacher, and then I have kids in school. So really, with Pastor John leaving in July, June's the only time I could really go away on vacation.
Yeah.
So I took 2 weeks, did a little vacation with the family, but then 2 weeks were a study break. And I'll tell you,
in the mountains, right? You were in North Carolina, and
yep.
You told me about one day you had a special visitor.
Yes. I was in Asheville, just north of Asheville, and did a little study break up there, and actually saw a bear. And the funny thing is, I was actually on the phone with Pastor John when I saw the bear. It was in our backyard, and I said, "This is what I did." I said, "Uh-oh." And then I hung up the phone. Pastor John had no idea what was going on.
He had no context.
And no context. I just wanted to take a picture, so I hung up to take a picture of the bear, and I left Pastor John hanging. And so you see a picture of the bear there, and that was cool. But really cool just to get away and spend time with family, spend time enjoying them, and then just a good study break. And I'll tell you one cool story. When I was in the mountains, I went to the mountains just by myself. And I was overlooking the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it was
a gorgeous area, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And we have some pictures here I'll show. And I was all by myself for 5 days. I saw deer. I saw some type of gopher-looking thing. I saw chipmunks. I saw rabbits, a bear, birds. And I remember thinking, I was leaning out, I said, "God, this is so beautiful."
Yeah, the creation, it's awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful. And I said, "God, would you allow me to have something this beautiful in Orlando?" Because I just was in awe.
Yeah.
And I felt like God spoke to me. He said, "Dustin," he said, "you haven't seen a human in 5 days. You're only seeing nature. And out of all of nature, the greatest thing I made were humans."
Oh, that's powerful, man. That's good.
And Orlando's full of them.
Yeah.
And so
all different types too, man.
God just reminded me of how beautiful you are, how beautiful people are, and how beautiful the city of Orlando and Central Florida, Lake County. And so came back with a renewed excitement for the people, and it's good to be back.
Yeah, man, it's exciting. We missed you, man. We missed having you around in my first month and you not being here. And I know so many people asked, "Man, how's Dustin doing? When is he coming back?" So we're excited to have you back. And man, you crushed it this weekend, man. The GOAT, we're starting that series, and man, just setting us up for that, about Jesus being the greatest of all time. And it's awesome. And I know, man, just your family is so important to you and stuff. It's really cool about Riley too, man, getting his leadership thing that you shared with us. And man, I remember Riley and my son Jacob, man, those guys being like super young, and we shared about that like a couple weeks ago. But
they've been to Woodlands Camp many times.
Many times, man.
Really cool.
My kids loved it and stuff like that. That's really exciting. So man, you know, we're excited to hear this series and to be part of it. So welcome back, man.
Thank you. Good to be back.
Yep.
For those that don't know, I shared a story this past weekend about how my son, who just graduated high school, got accepted into a program at a camp where he'll go and serve this next year. He'll do college online, but he'll have an opportunity to serve at a camp in Northeast Georgia.
Yep.
And a huge answer to prayer. He's excited. We're proud. And so we shared that. Man, it's been weird. I'm excited to be back, but it was really weird being gone because just brought you on board.
Yeah, day one.
Day one, I bring on board, and then I take off.
Yeah.
And just to want to share a little bit, I've known Kevin, I think anywhere 10
almost
to
10
12.
years. Yeah,
10 years, somewhere around
somewhere
there.
in that.
And when you're friends, you're not trying to impress each other. But Pastor Kevin always impressed me. And one of the things we've made a point to do is we just stayed in contact for years. And so I got to serve alongside with him. And now we get to serve alongside each other again. Very grateful for that. Pastor Kevin served as the next gen pastor for all 9 campuses at 12 Stone. And then recently at another church as executive pastor. And just grateful to have you here. But I felt weird bringing you on and then leaving. I felt like a bad host. But I hear so many staff and people that have gotten to know you already love you, and just excited and grateful for you. And I know you're still in transition with finding a home and moving the family here, but we're excited to have you.
Man, it's been my honor. I mean, like I remember when we were interviewing, you said something to me. You said, this isn't just gonna be good for Journey, but it's gonna be good for you. And this place has been so good for my soul. So many of the people that have opened up their homes to let me like stay in. And the Hudspeths and Tim and Robin, they're fantastic. And the second day she called me, there was a bear right outside the...
Are you serious?
Okay, yeah. She's like, look outside, there's a bear. So there was a bear. She's calling it Bear Alley now. That's where I live in. And, but man, like you said, the best thing about the staff here in the culture is the people. And it's like, it's been great. We missed you, but it was great to spend a lot more time even with Pastor John and his heart. Man, what a kind man, and what a great leader too. And so excited to be able to spend time, with him and learn from him a little bit. And then, but I'm excited to have everybody back. It's like have all the people back. And so, but you come in the summer, it's part of it, right? Like people are going on vacation and but man, people would help us. We've got an inspection on a house today, and so all this stuff. I can't wait for my whole family to be here and get going. So
if you would. Keep Pastor Kevin and his family in your prayers. I know he'd appreciate that. And Pastor John left, and he said, Dustin, he told us both, he said, Pastor Dustin, Kev, I have a very low bar for you while I'm away.
For the month of July.
He's going to be gone month of July. He said, I have a very low bar. He says, all I'm asking is that you would keep the church open.
Keep open.
Because I don't know if you've been keeping track. We've had to close the doors the past 2 Julys due to COVID. And so, Lord willing, we'll be able to keep the doors open and surprise our pastor by telling him, hey, we're able to open up the entire month of July. But when you think about it, that's wild. The past 2 Julys,
I know.
We've had to close. And grateful. It seems like most of that is behind us. Rarely hearing anybody getting seriously sick, and so grateful for that.
That's good. But we've got a lot of cool things happening in July too, man. Like especially with Next Gen and Summer Jam coming out in a couple weeks, which is like a kids camp. And for free.
100% free.
Yeah. And they got it was like 325 kids signed up, a lot of it all. So that's awesome to be part of that. And I think we're going to keep opening it up until, if we've got the leaders in the space, we're going to keep them coming. And so super excited about Summer Jam and stuff. It's been a while since I've done a Summer Jam.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And you may be thinking, man, I don't have any kids. But how cool would it be is if you invited somebody that did have kids.
That's right. That's great.
And gave the parents a great gift, just several hours a day for them just to be able to do their own thing or to grocery shop, to take a nap. And so maybe you have a neighbor or a coworker that has kids. Want to encourage you, invite them to Summer Jam. It's going to be an incredible event. Our residents, our staff, our interns, our volunteers have done a great job being led by Tammy Joseph. And I know
Callie Joy's doing a video, right?
Callie Joy is.
She's part
my
of that.
daughter Callie Joy is
doing
a part
some
of
of the
it.
worship stuff or whatever. Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see that and see the families
absolutely.
So it's great.
Absolutely excited about that. So also you can sign up at Summer Jam by following the link below. You can give people more information by following the link below as well. And love to be able to help spread the word and be able to serve
That's
our
the
community.
other thing too. Free stuff during the summer is awesome.
And listen, we're not bored. We don't just do event. I tell people all the time, we're not in the event business. That's not what we do. We are the church, and we want to reach lost people and point them to Jesus. The reason we both are passionate about Summer Jam is because it's one of the easiest invites to reach people that do not go to church. By saying, hey, we got a free kids camp to be able to serve and love your kid. And the whole way, we're just going to keep pointing them to Jesus.
Yep.
And so if not only can you invite somebody, would you be praying for Summer Jam that God would do an incredible work that week? I know we'd appreciate that. I know Tammy and her team as well.
And kids ministry, even week to week, is so awesome what they're doing. I don't know about you, but I was the first person in my household to get saved.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I was able to, through Next Gen Ministry, come home and man, God's done a lot of work in my sister's life, in my mom's life, in my dad's life. And so and my brothers, and be able to step back and be able to take that. So it's such a great investment in families and marriages and all this stuff. And it's like, there's a cost to it, right? There's a lot of time, and the church being a good steward financially for it, but we believe in reaching the next gen and through kids and stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's gonna be great.
Absolutely. I love it. So as we shared, Pastor Kevin and I have known each other for probably around 10 years, somewhere around there. We got to figure out the math at some point. And I love Pastor Kevin. I love his family. Our kids are very similar in ages, and so we've been able to do a lot of connecting with families. And you probably have heard a little bit about who he is and his background, but because this is my first time really doing it with him, I just want to share a little bit of background from West Palm Beach.
Yeah, born and raised, Boynton Beach, Palm Beach County, man.
So we got a fellow Floridian that also enjoys the beach, and not just that, but Liberty is on your heart, and you tell them what you do and how you teach at Liberty.
So I am a graduate school or seminary graduate professor, and I get to lead the next gen track on it. Yep. So kids, family, parenting, trends like that, as well as the internship stuff. Yep. So there's a lot of, like right now, I think I have about 40 something students, and they all have supervisors in the field. Like one of the cool things is about half of them are active military. So they're all over the planet defending our freedom. So it's really cool to be able to help them. And they've got supervisors and do stuff. So a lot of it is just helping them and making sure that they get all their paperwork and get credit for it and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's a little side hustle that I love, just always growing and developing. So like when the chance came to here to work with like internships and residencies and what we did at 12 Stone, and think about how many of our staff and how many of our friends, I mean, I started, my first thing in ministry was a internship at Family Church in West Palm, and still a great church. And so it's exciting to be kind of part of that. And
that's your skill set. That's your gift. You're great at coaching. You're great at developing. And so Pastor Kevin, you have your doctorate in what?
It's in adolescent development, so counseling, family counseling, and developmental psychology.
So, probably I've told him this, probably the smartest pastor I know, and I don't just mean academic smart, I mean practical, street smart, strategy, how to have church growth, how to develop people. And so what a great asset for Journey to be able to have you and the way you're wired and God's wired you. So we're excited.
Oh man, I'm excited. I'm humbled to
be able to have you, man.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to it.
It's great.
I think we need to tell them the first time that you and I met. So
all right, the Waffle House story.
You were already.
You guys got Waffle House up here. I saw. Like, well, we don't have it in South Florida, man. It's like.
But here's the deal. In Atlanta, people brag about Waffle House. They don't brag about Waffle House here. People don't look happily upon Waffle House as much. Atlanta, it's like a thing. People go to Waffle House. Yeah. Here, no, not so much.
Okay.
Although I do love some Waffle House.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friend that says he likes to take his wife to one of those fancy restaurants where they cook in front of you. You know, Waffle House is kind of how he describes it. So, but you were already at 12 Stone.
Yes, and our friend Kevin Queen, who's a pastor in Nashville, called me and he's like, we were looking for a kind of next gen over kids and student pastor at Hamilton Mill, which was our like second largest campus. It was our first campus there, and Queen's a great guy, man. Love him. He's a great leader.
Shout out Pastor Kevin Queen.
Yeah, he's great. And but I remember he called me and he's like, man, I got the best guy, and I just want you to go like meet up with him. He's flying in. I think you came right from the airport.
Literally came straight from the airport. My very first stop is Waffle House. Pull into the parking lot. You and I hang out.
Yeah,
have a great
it was supposed to be like 45 minutes. We ended up spending like almost over 2 hours. Yeah. Just laughing and learning, and it was like I knew from like that moment I wasn't just meeting a teammate, I was going to meet a brother. Yeah. And it was great. And I thought, man, you got a full day, a couple days ahead of you of like interviews and all stuff, and I could get back and get my day going. And then so he pulls out. And
so he takes off, and then I'm about to take off, and problem is I can't figure out how to take off. I get in my car. It's a rental car that the church set up for me through the rental agency, and I pulled straight into my parking spot, but now I can't back out. I can't put it in reverse. I tried 20, 30 minutes. I looked in the manual. I YouTube it. I Google it. I cannot figure out how to get this car
moving
in reverse.
Yeah.
And so I have to do a call of shame. I have to call Pastor Kevin up and I'm say, hey man, I don't know where you're at, but is there any way that you can come and help me put my car in reverse? That is not what you want to do in an interview.
I know. My first thought was like, he doesn't know how to drive?
Yeah, he doesn't know how to drive. So then you come and you're looking at me, probably like a moron.
Yeah, I thought.
And then you realize the car actually won't go in reverse.
Well, it was a manual speed, but it was like one of these, I don't remember what kind of car it was, but it was a weird, like, in reverse kind of thing, and we couldn't, and then we just put it neutral and pushed it.
But
right?
for the record, you also saw that you couldn't put it in reverse.
Sure.
So it wasn't just a me thing. So we literally put it in neutral to back it out. That was how we met.
Yeah.
And
I think for any of your interviews, you didn't pull into straight parking space.
No.
Is the rest of the time because you knew you couldn't.
Yeah, and I had to arrive early everywhere else.
There you go.
So that's how I met Pastor Kevin, and as soon as we met, I just saw his heart, loves the local church, loves his family, and loves Jesus, and I thought, man, this is going to be a fun season to be able to run with him. And Pastor Kevin and I, not only are we friends, but we have so many of the same friend circles
we do.
that love the church and that we all look up to and get to encourage one another. And so I just couldn't be more grateful that God opened the door for Pastor Kevin to come to Journey. And so you've already done a great job welcoming and loving him, and I want to encourage you to continue to do that and be praying for him. And I know Pastor John introduced you, but I wanted to also introduce you. So
I'm glad you did.
Glad you're here.
Glad to be here.
Grateful
It's
for
awesome.
you. So as you heard, we got Summer Jam. We kicked off a GOAT series. Pastor John, you can be praying for him. And we are this week going to go into week 2 of our series, GOAT. And if you weren't here for this past week, you might be thinking, what is GOAT all about? It stands for the greatest of all time. And we know that Jesus is the GOAT. He is the greatest of all time. But this series, we're going to look at exactly how was he the greatest at all time, and how can we learn to take on those attributes and become more like the GOAT. And so I'm excited for week 2 this week. We're going to have Pastor Harvey speaking
he's
here at the Apopka campus, and then Pastor Russell Cushman in Lake County. And so very excited to hear from them, and looking forward to it. But with that said, thank you for joining us once again. As always, we're loving the journey.